didn't stutter, 13. That's a lot. And we're going to look at the handful of top 10 squads that we have coming to Madison. And we'll pull up that graphic next. Top 10 squads, including New Mexico. There you see it. We have 3 of the top 5 ranked squads. And those are the 3 we'll kind of focus on the most coming into this. New Mexico, they won last year. They basically have been winning everything for a couple years now. But Edna Kurgat coming back. And they're going for their 3rd Nuttycombe title in the last 4 years. There you look at the squad. They also add in Adva Cohen, a junior college transfer. They're looking deep as ever. And if there is any questions about do they have a complete 5, we'll find that out, I think, this weekend coming to Nuttycombe. But I'm expecting them to really, really run well this weekend. Jenny, what are you looking for that 2nd-ranked squad, Colorado?
Well, certainly Danny Jones. So she placed 10th at last year's NCAA championships, and she also displayed some really impressive growth on the track this season. She won the national heat of the women's 1500 at the Prefontaine Classic, 4:07. So she's looking real good, and she's got a ton of experience. Also, McKenna Morley, she's got a 9:06 3K. And, the depth there, just the consistency, it's a team that with the right leadership and Danny could really make a good bid for running after New Mexico.
Yeah, definitely watching her coming back after that. I know she redshirted, but, man, she's been a cross-country All-American 2 of her 3 years, and she was pretty close her freshman year. I expect her to come out on fire as well. So another team to watch out for, Boise State. Of course, they still have Allie Ostrander. She's been running fast at Nuttycombe since way back in 2015, where she set the course record 19:19. That'll be fun to see if that can possibly go down this weekend, as Kurgat was pretty close to that last year with a 19:23. So that'll be fun to watch. And there's also another lady to watch, Claire O'Brien for Boise State, helping them be a top 5 ranked squad. She really had an outstanding track season, broke 16 minutes or 15:50, I should say, on the indoor track. So they're going to be fun to watch, that little duo. And I think with Ostrander, you always wonder how she'll come out. She didn't have a good one last year at Nuttycombe, at least by her standards. So fun to gauge her fitness and see where she matches up relative to Kurgat, certainly.
Yep. And then after that, we've got number 11, Villanova. And the Wildcats, no matter what, even if they don't have a very clear front runner, they are a pretty good pack running team historically. And, here I think we can expect more of the same. They'll probably be led by Taryn O'Neill. She's a freshman. Nicole Hutchinson will be up there as well. It'll be fun to see where they end up placing.
Yeah, and they have a solid top 5. They may not have the one massive superstar of the teams that we just highlighted before, but they are solid 1 through 5. And Taryn O'Neill, just a freshman, like you said, 9th at the U23K, so she can roll on the track for sure. 4:17, 1500 best. A really good squad in Villanova, and I think one that we're gonna see is on the rise here. So let's move on to the men. And the men's team race, it's awesome. Let's just say that. It's just as good as the women's, if not better. We also have 13 top 25 ranked squads, and you see it there. We have 7 top 10 ranked squads, highlighted by none other than the 2-time defending NCAA champion and also 2-time defending Nuttycombe champion as well, Northern Arizona. That was a mouthful there. They have all the riches in the world. They have Matt Baxter, Tyler Day. They have Peter Lamong, possibly a Brody Hasty sighting. They also
hope.
The forgotten All-American Jordy Beamish. He's going to be coming back. But Northern Arizona, it's going to be certainly interesting to see what they can do. We know what they can do when they're running at full strength, but who runs is part of the big mystery here. We know their top 2 will be there, but will Hasty be there in full force? What will Peter Lamong look like? Kind of having a rough track season. He had such a great cross-country season. So they are fantastic, but there definitely are some questions surrounding the Lumberjacks. So we'll throw it to you and our next ranked squad, Portland.
So the next ranked squad is number 3, Portland. The Pilots, they are led by Emmanuel Rudolph Levis, and he was very, very strong last year on cross country. He was 11th at the championships, and he's run a 7:57 3K. Yeah. He's gone sub 14 the 5K on the track. He's definitely one to watch, and he's leading a very strong group. And as we saw this past weekend, they are B squad is something to be feared. So, putting together a more complete group at this meet, it'll be really interesting to see what they can do when they mix it up with Northern Arizona at the top.
And Levis, not afraid to go to the lead. It was just a regional meet, but he dominated the West region last year before nationals, and then backed it up by finishing top 15. So I'll go to our next ranked squad, a team that's certainly on the rise, Iowa State, the Cyclones. And they are led by, well, we'll find out who they're led by.
Yeah.
We know some of their big names, Kurgat, Jordan, Kurtz, Pollard. They quietly have a super duper deep squad. I said super duper. If you were keeping track at home, I did say super duper. Andrew Jordan, 15th at NCAAs last year. Kurgat, he was 21st. So they've got some guys that certainly have some top 10 potential at NCAAs. And I would expect 2 to maybe 3 this weekend in the top 10. I think those guys are really going to get after it. It's a team that you feel like wants to make a statement. I know that they're now, the word has gotten out that they're a podium contender that was starting to come out last year a little bit, but you got a feeling they really want to run well this weekend at Nuttycombe. Let's kick it to another squad coming in.
Well, after that, we're going to look at number 22, Texas. So we just shot at a nice workout Wednesday with them, and Pete Watson's the new head coach, and it looks like he's doing good things with this squad so far. Sam Worley will be in there, the sophomore, who's definitely more of a track runner, but he also has cross-country chops as well that he can show off on the course this weekend. And Alex Rogers, he's kind of like the senior leader of this group. He had also a very nice year on the track last year. He ran 4-minute mile. Again, not as strong of a cross-country performer, but I think that a lot of the experience and the quickness that he showed on the track is going to translate to a little bit better on the course this year. So
yeah, I think with Watson coming in, kind of a rejuvenation for their program, it's going to be possibly a unexpectedly good year. And Pete Watson, he told the goal coming down from Coach Flo was top 10. So that's a bold goal at NCAAs this week, and we'll see. That's a bold goal for them, but this weekend could be a big statement for them. We mentioned Iowa State, another Big 12 squad that's looking to make some noise out of Nuttycombe. Okay, let's go to the individual side, and 2 of the very best, 3 of the very best. Well, we'll just say 5 of the very best. How about that? Let's look at our 5 top 10 ranked women's individuals. We have the defending champion and defending NCAA champion in Edna Kurgat. We know Allie Ostrander has the course record. Those 2 other Lobos, Kaladi and Prouse, they were in the top 15 in NCAAs last year, and obviously so was Danny Jones. So these are 5 women. Not only do we expect them to be good, but they're proven. Mm-hmm. And Kurgat, I think, we know she loves cross country. Does she go after the course record this year? That even if she doesn't get it, there's not much question. We know how good she is, but it'll be quite impressive. She can get under that 19:19, so that's really, really quick.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about Adva Cohen, but I think another person that you should really be looking at heading into this meet is Wani Kaladi. I think her upside could be tremendous. She's only a sophomore this year, and she's, a proven power in cross country and in track, so I think definitely going to be someone to watch as well. For the individuals. Yeah,
definitely. And obviously we talked about her before, but Danny Jones, she redshirted the outdoor season, but still ran fabulously well. She's been a 2-time All-American in cross country, and we see her there running with the warm weather gear, getting back into the cross country game, and she could win this. I mean, she's got that finishing speed, and she's somebody that may be looking to prove herself as well. And don't count her out just because she was only 10th last year. Not that 10th is bad, but that's far away from what Kurgat did. She's someone whose fitness really, really improved on the outdoor track. And we kind of have this temptation always in cross country to think what's happened is going to remain.
Right.
What's going to, it's going to be a constant thing. Well, not necessarily. Kurgat is beatable for sure. I do think Kurgat will win.
Especially if it comes down to a kick at the end.
Yeah.
Because then I'm definitely going to give it to Danny. If she can just hold on, keep her in her sights, and then reel her in at the end, you never know what could happen.
Absolutely. And some under-the-radar names to watch. We have a freshman coming in from Penn State. She's British. Julia Patternane. I hope that's the pronunciation. We get a look at Allie Ostrander up there. She's undefeated so far. Patternane is. And there you see her finishing off a win. I believe that was that spiked shoe. She's had a great season thus far. I mean, you can't underestimate how hard it is to come over, across the pond there, come over to Penn State and get right in the mix, but that's exactly what she's done, and this is the first big test for her, so I'm excited to check that out. Okay.
Same.
Let's go to the men's side, and we had 16 ranked individuals, top 25 individuals on the women's side, one less, but I don't think we can say it's any worse in quality. There you look at the top 10 list. We have, count them. They're 8 top 10 runners, led by Vincent Kiprop. You also have Baxter and Day coming from NAU. Those two guys, I believe that's their finish from the national meet last year, second and third. Keegan was fourth. I mean, this is just a murderer's row of talent coming to Nuttycombe, making this, probably the deepest pre-October meet that we've ever seen in NCAA cross country. So I'm obviously excited to see what the Alabama duo can do. You'll see them in just a moment. Those two, both in the top 7 in NCAAs last year, had some good marks on the track. And Kiprop's our number 1 ranked individual. So will he hold that title through the weekend will be an interesting question. So kicking it to the next pair. How about the NAU guys? We've used a lot of words, spilled a lot of ink on these guys before, but anything you're looking in particular to see from Baxter and Day?
Yeah, so, these guys typically trade off either finishing, either it's going to be Baxter, Day, Baxter. So it's always interesting to see how those two finish either in front or behind. Mm-hmm. To me, I think that, Tyler Day, he wrapped up his track season in pretty spectacular fashion. It'll still be interesting to see if he carries that momentum into this meet. What can you not look forward to when it comes to those two guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would certainly be a shock to me if they didn't finish top 5. I don't think that'll say anything about their season because, again, it's early, and we're not used to having such competitive meet this early in the season, especially on the Nationals course. But they almost seem like the biggest locks for me, at least, to be in the top 5. All right, so let's throw it to a guy who hasn't run cross country in quite a while. He's the number 1 Badger. He is our number 6 individual. He was 3rd a couple years ago at Nuttycombe. That's Morgan McDonald. What's the state of his beard? What's the state of his fitness? These are all questions we're going to find out this weekend with McDonald, and I expect a good showing for him. I've heard some rumblings through the grapevine that possibly he won't be treating this like he needs to absolutely, it's win or nothing type of scenario, but he's a guy he's gonna be in the top 10. I mean, this guy ran 13:15 last year. There's no way he's not in the top 10 this weekend.
Yeah, and just the fact that Ollie's gonna be in there with him, I think that if they just stay together the whole time, they'll be able to finish strong. And also, after being away from the cross-country course for so long, you'd think that he'd be pretty ready to seal the deal with a win here.
We do have Ollie and Amy Davis here.
Yes.
We should have highlighted the 2 people that have been over our shoulder the whole weekend, 2 Wisconsin athletes there that also will be in the mix on the individual side. So another individual kind of under the radar, Yusuke Uchikoshi. What are you looking forward to seeing from him coming into Nuttycombe?
So I think he should be able to finish top 20, top 15. I think if we can see some progression there from him, if he can try to hang with the lead pack and just see what shakes out after that, it'd be really great.
It was a good sign for him when he won Sun Dodger. I know that was a meet where Washington didn't really go full bore there, but for him, he had such a rough cross-country season after his sophomore year where he was top 20 in cross, won the Mountain West. He was fabulous that year 2 years ago, and now he's kind of looking to rebound after a tough one in 2017, so this will give us a good indication. Okay, so we've highlighted the men's and women's team and individual battles at Nuttycombe, Jenny, but I want to know something a little bit different. I'm looking for the newspaper headlines that are going to come out on Monday morning. You could say the internet headlines as well. What do you think is going to be the big takeaway on the men's side that we're going to splash on our homepage on Monday morning here?
Yeah, I think I've got it. So I think it's going to read Magic in Madison for the Badgers. I think that the return of Morgan McDonald is going to usher in a very good finish for the Badgers here. I think that Oliver Hoare and him are probably training together and know how to run together really well. Also, traditionally, Morgan McDonald's been a stronger cross-country runner, so if Ollie can hang on with him and then pick it up going into the finish with that 1,500-meter NCAA championship speed, I think that they should be good for a runner-up finish, maybe top 3, but hopefully runner-up.
And it reminds me, a couple of years ago, it's been maybe several years ago, I'm showing my age now, where the Badgers were kind of discounted like they kind of have been a little bit this year, coming just inside the top 10, and they ran really well in their home course. This squad knows how to run well. So I could see the Magic in Madison for the Badgers possibly happening. But for me, I'm going to be a little bit more comfortable just canceling the women's season after this race is complete, because that is how dominant the Lobos.
Shut the whole thing down.
Yeah, that's right. And we won't obviously do that, but the Lobos are going to look so good coming into or out of this race that Edna Kurgat believes she's going to win, and the Lobos, I think they're going to get 5 in the top 25, and it's just going to be a totally dominant win over a deep field. I know it's early, but this is going to be the confirmation that the Lobos are going to repeat and win I believe this will be their 3rd title in 4 years coming in November. I just think they're that good this season, so we can not literally but figuratively cancel the season on the women's side. So that's my take. We've both given our headlines for Monday morning. We'll see if they play out that way. But for myself, Lincoln Shrike, Jenny Zahn here, we're going to kick it out to Kevin and Gordon, who are live on the course.
Welcome to the 2018 Nuttycombe, Wisconsin Invitational here live in Madison, Wisconsin. A beautiful Zimmer course here. It's the 10th year of this meet. This is the 27th meet on this course, and it's going to be a great one. I can't wait. My name is Gordon. I'm here with Kevin Selly. And Kevin, what are you looking forward to most about this meet?
Man, Gordon, the cross-country season really begins today. There's been meets prior to this, but we've never seen teams of this caliber in 2018 on the course at the same time. Men's race, 3 of the top 5 in the rankings. Women's race, 3 of the top 5 in the rankings. And overall top 25, over half of them are here in Madison today to help us sort out the 2018 season.
Yeah, we've never seen a meet this deep in the month of September because this meet normally is in mid-October. They push it up 2 weeks because we have pre-nats in 2 weeks and then ultimately NCAAs here. And looking at the course, kind of did a little run yesterday. Weather, it's about 50 degrees here. What do you think about the course conditions here in Madison?
Yeah, well, we have temperatures right now in the low 50s, overcast skies, a little bit of wind, rain. We don't think it will happen. We're holding out for that. The course is firm. The course is solid. We didn't see any muddy spots. It runs very true. The men obviously will run 8,000 meters. The women 6,000. But conditions overall, I mean, this is quintessential cross-country weather, Gordon.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day for all 4 races, and that's right. We have 4 races here today, starting with the women's 6K B race, where they'll be going off at 11 o'clock sharp, followed by the men's B race at 11:40 a.m., and then we'll have our championship races with all the A teams, women's 6K at 12:20, and the men's 8K at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, loaded slate here, Gordon. Excited to get it going. And here we see the top men's storylines. Let's start first with NAU. The champions coming back. They're going for their 13th straight win, Gordon, dating back to 2016. They're not just good in championship meets. They're good in the entire regular season.
Yeah, that's right. 13 straight wins. That is an incredible feat dating all the way back to September 2016. Again, varsity meets only. They didn't win a JV meet, I think, back in early 2016, but we're not going to hold that against them. But some other storylines, looking at Alabama. Now, we did get news that their top guy, Vincent Kiprop, will not be on the starting line today. But we do know that we're going to see their new projected 4th man in Noel Rotich. He's run an 8:52 in Kenya at altitude. This guy was at the World Youth Championships. If he can run up there with the top 3 Kenyan trio, Alabama is going to be a good team in 2018.
Yeah, you mentioned his steeple personal best. In many ways, Noel Rotich is more key to Kiprop because we know what Kiprop can do. We've seen it time and time again. Noel Rotich is that X factor. Let's talk a little bit about Iowa State, Gordon.
Yeah.
The question is, are they the real deal?
Yes, this would be their first real true season where they are legit podium contenders and potentially national contenders. We're going to see their true A squad here today and seeing the likes of Edwin Kurgat, Andrew Jordan, maybe a Festus Lagat coming off from a strong spring. Can the Cyclones start becoming national title contenders? We'll find that out today. And, of course, welcome back, Morgan McDonald, to Wisconsin. He's back on his home course. This is his first cross-country race since 2016, and he's ready to go. And it's not just him. He's got some great teammates, and we can see what the Badgers can do on their home course in front of their home fans.
And also his first race overall since the Big Ten Outdoor Championships. Had a little bit of injuries in the spring, but looks to be back in full form, raring to go here in Madison. And he has a gentleman by the name of Oliver Hoare, fellow Aussie and fellow Badger, who is going to be right there with him. He was the Big Ten champion in cross country last year and won the 1,500 meter race at the NCAA championships in the spring. So those are the top men's storylines that we'll be tracking. And we'll get a look here at the women. And it starts with the defending champion, New Mexico Lobos.
You have 3 questions. Are they good? Are they great? Or are they incredible? And we're about to find that out here when they're actually going to run their star power against national caliber talent. We'll see what the Edna Kurgats, Wayne Kalates, Ava Cohen, the transfer, also Charlotte Prouse, who's a top 15 returner. See what the Lobos can do. I mean, they have dominated this meet In 2015, they scored about 30 points or so, beating the next best team by over 100 points. Could they do the same thing here against a strong Colorado squad? Be interesting what the Lobos can do, led by Edna Kurgat.
Yeah, and also with New Mexico, we'll find out, are they competing against any other team this year, or are they competing against history? Because the marker is very, very high for Lobos. When it comes to the individual race, Ali Ostrander, 2-time champion in the steeple, never had a title in cross country, but's been in the top 5 a couple times. Will she actually be a threat to Edna Kurgat?
We'll find out. We'll see. Alio, she's the course record holder here. She wants to hold on to that course record to see if she can really stay up there with Edna Kurgat and the rest of the top talent up front. And also, speaking of talent, we have some new talent in the NCAA, especially on the women's side. Look out for the freshmen here on the women's side. We have Katarina Robinson. She's from New Zealand. Now runs for Arkansas. She won the Chili Pepper Festival. She ran 9:03 in a 3K back in high school. Julia Patterson, a Penn State freshman from England. She's a 2-time winner. She won the Spike Shoe Invitational at Penn State. You also have Taryn O'Neill, a Canadian. She's run a 9:54 2-mile at Villanova. Abby De Silva of Providence. Nevada Marino. She's a redshirt freshman, transferred from Stanford. And you have Camila No of Portland. Catherine Lee of Georgetown. Maria Castillo, who was 4th at her opening meet. She's from California. Runs for TCU now. She was ranked 2nd in our Flow XC high school rankings. So looking out for these young freshmen on the women's side will be interesting to see who becomes immediate players and finishes in the top 20.
Yeah, absolutely. And the final point you have here, beat the Longhorns, earn a point. Break that down for us, Gordon. What's that mean?
This is just a bigger picture. This meet is about getting points. And a lot of these teams are looking to get those head-to-head matchups. And a team like the Longhorns comes from a weaker region like the South Central region, where we know the Longhorns most are very likely to get a top 2 finish. So that means if you get them, if you can beat them here, you get a guaranteed point, because we know that's what you're looking for. You're looking for those teams who are in weaker regions, who know are going to finish in the top 2, and then you can use them to focus on trying to get an extra Colas point here and there. And that's why look out for teams trying to beat South Central, South Regional teams, maybe a team from the Great Lakes to help you get into the national meet.
Just one of the many storylines we'll be tracking today as we are getting set to get going here with the women's B race. Get a shot there of the start line.
And we should be getting ready to go here momentarily for the start of the Nuttycombe Wisconsin Invitational here in 2018 Women's B 6K. And they are off. We do not have official entries here for this B race here, so we'll see who really shows up, because a lot of these are the JV athletes. You know, athletes ranked 8 to 14 on these teams. So a lot of coaches are going to be looking at this race to really see who can maybe flirt with a 6th position, 7th position on the varsity roster, and maybe make that team when it comes to conferences, regionals, and ultimately NCAAs.
And you see squads there from NAU and Texas on the right side of your screen.
So as they come through, we'll get a better, closer look at the athletes we have here. You see some Portland athletes there on the left side of your screen. On the right side of your screen, it looks like some Longhorns, some NAU. See a Villanova athlete up front. So when they come together here through this first opening, about 800 meters, we'll get a true sense of the top B athletes here in this first race. Again, we have, for those just joining us right now, we have 4 races, starting with the 2 B races, and then we'll have our championship races later on in the afternoon. And it looks like that is hip 24 from Arkansas. That's Abby Gray. She's a sophomore, and she's leading the charge right now.
Razorbacks, you mentioned, have a lot of strength here. We'll see more of them in the A race later on with Katrina Robinson, expected to be a national championship qualifying team. Tennessee there on the left of your screen. Looks off to be a good start there. But right now, it is Gray of Arkansas at the front.
Also, you see that Villanova athlete. That is Bella Berta, a senior from Villanova up there. And also Alabama athlete, hip 16. That's Esther Gatahi, excuse me.
JC transfer. You mentioned Adva Cohen, one of New Mexico's key pieces. She battled Adva Cohen a number of times in the JC ranks last year.
Yeah, she kind of, if Adva Cohen was not in junior college last year, she probably would have a few national titles in her belt before transferring to Alabama. You already see kind of a separation here of the top 4, led by Abby Gray of Arkansas, the sophomore, as we are just over 2 minutes into this race. and they're starting to thin out early on.
Yeah, the first 800 meters pretty wide, like many cross-country courses, but then right around 1,000 meters, there's a hill that could break it up a little bit, and then there's another hill around the 1 mile mark as you see them go up a little bit of an incline here. But the courses we mentioned at the top, very firm. The wind has died down a bit, but it is blowing periodically. Good shot there at the entire pack as Abby Gray, the sophomore from Arkansas, continues to lead ahead of Esther Gatahi, the sophomore from Alabama.
And just to show the depth of Arkansas, Abby Gray, she has a 16:06 5K PR to her name. She was 14th at the Chili Pepper Festival, which was run just a week ago, and she made the NCAA championships in the 5K in 2017. So maybe dealing with a little injuries, hasn't really had to deal with some injuries during the 2018 season. But if you can make the NCAA championships in the 5K as a freshman, you are a talent. And this is her chance to really show Coach Lance Harder that she should be in that A race, not just next year, but hopefully later on in the season.
And we see a lot of Tennessee Volunteers up there. 3:04 on the left. That's Megan Murray of Tennessee in there